Guys, welcome back to this week's One Ball Challenge on Pinball Effects. In this video, we're going to talk about the One Ball Challenge we had on Epic Quest from last week, and then for this week coming up, we're going to be playing Rome. I thought the table Rome would be kind of good because it's kind of transitioning from like the medieval tables we've been playing with Castle Storm, Excalibur, and Epic Quest, and kind of transitioning into like another culture and life, right? So Rome will be next. All roads lead to Rome, right? Is I think how the saying goes. So first, I want to talk to you about some of the main things that I kind of gathered while playing Epic Quest this week. So Epic Quest to me felt like a really robust table in a good way. It just had so many cool mechanics. The design of the table was just, it had a lot of things going for it. It had, I looked at the table more and I realized that there's actually an upper playfield. I used to think it was just one. But you have these cool toys. You have this kick-out hole that changes directions where it kicks out the ball. You've got this this amphitheater thing playing. You have this cool RPG elements where you can gain experience, you can gain classes, you have dueling, you have looting, you have upgrades. So there's so much to this table that I don't even think you could get all, with one ball. Like, I think you need to actually put in a lot of time. I was looking at the strategy guide for this table on Google, and it's fairly it's really detailed. So keep in mind that these tables that are digital can sometimes be a little more, in terms of logic, a lot more complex than some, real tables, just because you can do so much more things, right, in terms of logic. But one of the things that I really thought about was, remember how last week when we played, was it Crystal Storm, right? How Crystal Storm was a pinball table based off a video game that Zen made. And so Epic Quest is this completely original table, not based on anything. And it's and it made me think that this table is so fun that I could see it being translated into a video game. And I say that because really when we're talking about modern pinball, and you look at the journey that pinball has gone through from EMs to solid states to where we are now, it's almost like designers are designing pinball games to feel a lot like something like a video game, like you'd play at home, right? So there's this gap that's trying to be bridged that I think designers and programmers have been doing. And it really all started from, I would say, maybe earlier, but the dot matrix display, right? Because in the dot matrix display, you're able to play these video modes just like you were playing a video game, right? Even though the graphics were simple, it still had that, it still gave you that same kind of, that feeling like, oh, I'm playing a video game now in the video mode. So, you think about how pinball is, sort of not only bridging the gap with video games, but it's also being fused. I've mentioned this a lot, how you have pinball fusion games with a lot of RPG elements and brick breakers, stuff like that. They're not always the best. They're not always a good idea, but you can see how it's kind of like, it's trying, like pinball is trying to diverge. When I was playing this table, I think what really makes Epic Quest feel like a video game in a way is because you have all these RPG elements, and it might just be the RPG elements themselves with the experience points, the class, the dueling, the looting, and the upgrades. But it's also something very neat about this table is that I think it saves your progress within like a session, which is really cool. I mean, that's something that someone, Third Axis mentioned to me, is that how cool it is that this table can save your progress. And it taps into the idea of when you're playing a video game like an RPG. Think of all the, the like Harvest Moon or Zelda, any kind of video game where you're rewarded for more playtime. And so I think this table kind of tapped into that psyche where you kind of wanted to play more because you wanted to see how much different it would be if you could increase your level or go to the shop or increase your class from from knight to something else. So that was really something huge in this game, which I think makes it really cool. And you have this whole dueling aspect, right? Where you gotta fight the wolf and the Shrek-looking dude. So it's just really cool how this table, I think, plus the realistic physics makes this table really enjoyable. And I'm really, like I've said before, I'm glad to, replay and re-enjoy these tables, these original tables that I might have not given second thought to be honest, because there's always a new pinball table coming out, and sometimes with all these new tables and DLC, it's like, why bother going back to these older original tables? But I'm really glad that we are. So we just talked about how progress and feeling like you're progressing is something that kind of makes you want to play a certain video game, something that tracks your progress. And you think about pinball. I mean, pinball is sort of like that. I mean, you're tracking progress with your points, with your wizard modes, and you're progressing. You're kind of getting that feeling like you're making progress. Not probably at the level of Epic Quest, but you can see tables nowadays, like maybe Dungeons and Dragons has something like that, where you have all these complex things and statistics, not just your ordinary points, right? And I think other tables on Pinball FX, like Gloomhaven, had the same kind of thing, where it kind of tracks XP and stuff like that. And it kind of gives you, when you play tables like this with RPG elements like an Epic Quest, you have that sense of completeness. Like it feels like you've completed something. Or whenever you complete a mode and you're rewarded, it's a good feeling, right? And so I think that's what keeps on us coming back to play pinball. And I just kind of want you to think about what makes pinball something that you can come back to. Because when you think about the replay value of pinball, you're playing the same table. It's the same rules each time, right? For the most part. So why do we keep on coming back to this table? Is it the tournament features, the competition? Because think of all the games that you don't play anymore, that you could be, but they don't have the replay value like pinball does. So I think pinball is in a special place when you talk about replay value itself. So that was probably the biggest thing I got from this table. It was the whole, was the really cool mechanics of the wheel turning, the water wheel in the middle up there. You have that prize wheel at the bottom. You have the upper play field, and it's just a beautiful table. And it just imagine it being turned into a game. If Zen somehow made this into a game, I'd definitely give it a try. So that's something to think about there. But that's pretty much the biggest thing I got from this table. It was a tough table, I will say that. Very tough table. It was a close tournament, so we had about 9 people. And congratulations to first place UTD 4000 with 50 million points. So UTD, congratulations there for that first place awesome score. I'm pretty sure that puts UTD in like number 1 globally, maybe. We'll have to check. But I'm just kind of curious if the guys who have gotten in first or third have played this table before, and or did you guys just get lucky? Because I only played this table a few times on FX3, so this is kind of like my first time playing it. But congratulations to UTD 4000 for 50 million. Second place, we have Dracky Barks, aka Michael, with 33 million. Also a great score. Welcome back, Mike. And then in third place, we have King Balchi 100 with 22 million. So King Balchi not in first this week, but still in the top 3, which is really good. Carpy Sun came in 4th with 11 million points. Congratulations to Carpy Sun. I came in 5th with 9 million. My friend Urko, 1945, with 6 million points. In 7th place, we have Genuines with 6 million points as well. In 8th place, Wombat and Hat with 4 million. And in 9th place, to round it up, we have Bad Jack Daniels with 3 million. So a lot of kind of close scores towards the bottom, even from 4th to about 9th. But yeah, UTD just hit it out of the park. So congratulations to you, UTD 4000, for your first place. And let's go right into it with our open. We're going to make sure our settings for gameplay is crossplay, because I know that Krobs was having problems with finding tournaments. So public, this is 1 ball. Unlimited attempts, unlimited players, 6 days as per usual. 6 days, unlimited attempts, unlimited players, 1 ball, public. Alright, let's give this a go here. And here is the ID. Alright, launch the ball. Is there a skill shot? Now, this table is kind of hard to make things out because everything seems like it's the same color, but it's still relatively, you know, playable, of course. I like this extra third flipper here. And you know what's interesting, I find interesting, is that there's original tables. These original tables are based on, like, ancient kingdoms, right? But I can't really think of a lot of real, oh my gosh, real tables that are based on, like, ancient Greece or ancient Rome, you know? I guess there's probably some EMs, but I think a gladiator table would be cool. Like, you know, I've only seen the first movie, but I think it would be a cool table. I think, hasn't there been, I know there's a gladiator from Gottlieb, but that's not really Roman themed. It's just called Gladiator. I know there's been like chariot themed tables. There's been Egyptian themed, of course, right? There might be like some Roman themed tables. You can hear the sound of the chariot. I like the moving bust there. Statue. It's a cool. And you have the scales of justice. Oh! I think that's where most of my drains come from. It's like when I hit the ramps with not enough power, that's when I drain most times. If I had to, like... Okay, we got a kickback. So we gotta spell conquer, right? Oh! Okay, that's a dangerous shot right there. Oh my gosh! You know, the kick out hole right in the middle, it's almost like a straight down the middle. Well, I know that's not going to be a good score, but I just wanted to get this video out there. My apologies for it being a little late. Just been a little busy lately, so bear with me. And I hope you guys have fun this week with this challenge. And I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. Thanks for watching.